Joe, I never write about you. When I write about friends, I write about Luis from kindergarten, about how he grew up to be a gangbanger, how I think he dropped out of school, how I don't know because even though I befriended his brother in college, I never asked about him. Or I write about my friends from 6th grade, because I still keep in touch, because they live in Austin and drive nice cars, but still keep it real. But I never write about Joe, my friend from 5th grade. I never write about how his mother fed me buttered toast because breakfast at home was sometimes not enough. How I never told my mother that I wasn't being a polite boy and refusing food. How we did all our homework together. How he lived 1 block down in a 2-room shack, smaller even than my family's. How he was the first one to get my jokes. How he laughed, sometimes at nothing in particular. How one day my sister and I were leaning on the fence in front of our house, swatting away flies. How Joe walked by on the other side of the street. How his jeans were too tight. How they were too short for him. How before I could wave hi to Joe, my sister called him a faggot. Because of the way he walked, hips swishing, head bobbing. How she didn't say it to him, but whispered it to me. How at that moment, the late afternoon skies suddenly dimmed just a little. How only I noticed. No, I never write about how I never spoke to him after that day. How I moved on to 6th grade to a gifted and talented program in a new school, while he moved on to 6th grade to a not gifted and talented program in the old school. How we couldn't be friends anymore because we were now in different schools. How he lived down the block. The confidence of their knees. They didn't only know that one word, the guys from my old high school hallways. They knew other words, yes, other words besides faggot. When they weren't looking, I'd watch them move their lips, pink and delicate. I see them still, waiting for the bus after school. The confidence of their knees, a 45-degree angle between them, their hands resting on their laps, fingers curved over their crotches. How they wear their cowboy shirts tight under leather belts and unbuttoned midway down. Their torsos, 3 buttons, I think. Yes, 3. And their smooth, dark chests breathe out sweet words to their girlfriends, who parade before them in short denim skirts and red lipstick. Move around them like this is their bedroom, like this is midnight, not 4 in the afternoon. Their laughter betrays the boys they still are. But weren't they hard pillars of menace in those snakeskin boots with sharp edges bought in the shops of Mexico? How they moved like wildcats, muscles smooth with gravity under tight jeans, the yellow transport inadequate for their skin with its thin layer of perspiration. How it shimmered under the sun. Yes, they knew other words, words that made women smile, that made their friends wink, eyes flickering in complicity, like they were inside something like magic, something I suspected I would never find in my books. They are gone now, and my hairline recedes faster than I can run. And if I have to see them, those boys, now managing a McDonald's or getting an advance on their income tax or making arrests in their old neighborhoods, I'd rather close my eyes, see them skip the bus the way they sometimes did, and walk away into the sun. Faggot. I recognized the word when I heard it in the schoolyard with the monkey bars and the fields that burned brown where the coach teamed us to play dodgeball. The roughest boys, with their hair cut askew, with the name-calling, played the best. Always windy and the voices staggered. When I answered to the name, when I turned to the sound of the word, they cut letters into trees. To say goodbye to high school. Would you like to go to the prom with me, she asked, her voice tremulous. I'd graduated the year before, but worked at the old high school, and I knew her less than I knew of her. The name she was called, because she wore thick glasses, had a hint of mustache, loved math. I just waited too long to ask someone, she offered, with arched eyebrows, performing surprise at her lack of luck. And there, within the white walls of the front office, I said sure, never having even kissed a girl, never having kissed anyone, yet oddly excited about the ritual, the one I'd never performed, and she smiled wide. I picked her up in my rusty Ford Escort 6 blocks from home, in the part of the town with window bars. No one stepped into the living room to see us off. We dined on Chinese food, other couples in tables like islands. She asked me about the local college, and I asked her about her plans. I'd like to go away to school, she said. And I hoped she'd find the place where no one would call her names, where she could always be this, the shimmer of satin, elegant like her prized equations. At the country club, we rushed to the photo line, her first wish upon entering that place that was the fairy tale ending. Ahead of us, a couple fidgeted. She smoothed her skirt, he wetted his lips, and practiced a smile before a mirror. The X on the floor, a claim on a map. I draped my arms around her, smiled before the flash like an undreamt dream. The others in designer gowns and perfect tans rioted laughter, ambled across the dance floor as if it were their living room. We sat transfixed by the crystal chandeliers, wondering if this elaborate parade was supposed to spell beauty, fearing that we, in the awkward sidelines, would never learn how to claim it as our own, would never find the way to say goodbye to high school. Let's go, she said then, intending to be kind, to put me out of what she thought was misery, though she needn't have. And I regret even now that I lacked the courage to tell her I was happy to be chosen, happy to have shared this, something about how two people who were never picked each other.